I wanted to ask about an essay that was in Vox today that's been getting a lot of play on immigration. It's titled...
I'm sorry, what that was in Fox?
An essay, just a story, I guess. It's an explainer, maybe.
On Vox?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Fox, and so I didn't. Not that that would make it illegitimate. I'd be happy to answer questions about essays on Fox. I just wasn't aware that any essays had been posted to Fox recently. But if they are, I'd be happy to read them. But as it relates to your question on Vox, please continue.
I apologize for mumbling, but it's entitled, he doesn't know it yet, but Obama's likely to break another promise on immigration. And it raises kind of two points.
Sounds provocative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's Fox.
2 points that I wanted to get your reaction to. The first
Okay.
Was chasing down the idea that you and the president have said that any executive orders he's going to take on immigration will be more politically stable after the midterms. And the point that the essay raises is that by pretty much all accounts, Democrats will lose seats to Republican candidates who are running against immigration reform in this election. So why does the White House believe that these immigration reforms after November are going to be more sustainable than they are now, while Democrats who are representing the American people and have voted for immigration reform are in office?
Mm-hmm. I'm not ready to concede any Democratic losses in the midterm elections. The American people will have their vote, and the president and I both believe very powerfully in the message that's being delivered by Democratic candidates in these races all across the country, that the values of the vast majority of Democratic candidates who are on the ballot are consistent with the values of middle-class families across the country. And I do think that will, the consistency of those values and of those priorities will have an impact on the electoral outcome. So setting that aside, the question I think really is around what sort of political dynamics are in place in advance of the midterms around the issue of immigration. The fact is, or I guess the concern is, that had the president moved forward with his announcement prior to Election Day, you would have seen Republican candidates do more to make the immigration issue central to their campaign. And in the event that they were successful in their campaign, the concern would be that they would cite their opposition to immigration reform as a reason for their success. That is not a storyline that the president wanted, or that anybody here wanted to contribute to. This is about, now I will just say that I do not think that there are, well, let me say it this way, I don't think in the vast majority of congressional races that it is a particularly wise or popular decision to say that you're against common sense bipartisan immigration reform. So the reason I say that is that this is less an issue about trying to dictate or influence the outcome of the elections, and more about making sure that the immigration issue is not a casualty of the post-election political analysis. And that is a complicated case to make, but it is important to protecting the political viability of an issue that the president thinks is a top domestic priority, and that's immigration reform.
Just to follow on that a little bit, I guess the other argument that's made is, although the president has repeatedly said that he will act between November and the end of December, coming up right after that are going to be budget battles and battles over the debt ceiling, which Republicans have already indicated that they're likely to try to put as a condition of any raising of the debt ceiling or passing a new budget, that the president not act on immigration reform, or that that he repeals whatever executive action he takes. And so what I'm wondering is, can you guys say now that the president would flat out veto, in a way that you have in previous battles over Obamacare, any attempt by Republicans to condition whatever legislation comes through Congress on revoking the immigration?
Well, Justin, I don't think that there are many analysts that believe that the political standing of the Republican Party was enhanced by shutting down the government. So I would be surprised if Republican leaders chose to pursue that path again. At the same time, I also heard Republican leaders in the aftermath of the last budget showdown indicate that they would never again hold hostage the full faith and credit of the United States of America. And I take those leaders at their word when they say that no one should do that.
Well, that didn't really answer my question, though. If they do it,
Well, but I guess the point is, I don't. The point I'm making is, I think most people, even in the Republican Party, and I hesitate to speak for them. I don't think they want me to, but let me just do it based on my own observations here. That I don't think that many Republican political professionals believe that the standing of their party was enhanced politically by shutting down the government. And I take the leaders at their word when they say that vowing to hold hostage the full faith and credit of the United States is an unwise strategy, both politically but also substantively for the United States. I take them at their word on that. Obviously, these Republican leaders are going to have some influence, significant influence even, over the strategy that Republicans pursue at the end of this year.
The only reason it was a hostage situation was you guys flatly said that you would not sign any bill that overrode Obamacare, right?
No,
so,
I think the reason it was appropriately described as a hostage situation is because Republicans took hostage the full faith and credit of the United States. The fact that we received a ransom note doesn't mean that we're responsible for the hostage taking, does it?
Let's say that you receive a hostage note again. I mean, it's happening.
Again, I think my point is I don't think, and I certainly hope it's not going to happen again, both because the vast majority of Republicans don't think it's in their interest to do so, and
So if I'm an
important members of the
activist-
Republican leadership have ruled out doing it.
If I'm an immigration activist here